and coming home, and I think there's a rise, and then there's a lull. There's like not, it's not a depression, but it certainly is a downer.
Yeah.
When I
So
leave,
that is a challenge for a lot of people that would have to share their story.
but then I go home and I call Margaret or my dad, and it's all good. Oh, thank you for writing this question, whoever you are. I appreciate it. Oh, wait a minute, you don't know why we're here. Hey, it's Kevin Hines. We're gonna be here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for you, dropping these vlogs like fire on mental health, brain, mind, behavioral well-being, the art of wellness, and everything in between. I got a question today was this from Instagram, LB? Fantastic. LB, my producer, Tyshawn, the videographer extraordinaire. They are behind the camera. You can't see them. They're secret agents. If you saw them, they'd have to kill you. Okay, any progress with the Golden Gate Bridge rails? That's the question. Before we get into that, welcome to the family if you haven't been here before. This is the healthiest social media family. Never mind, I'm kidding. This is Hope Nation. We're dropping that moniker off. It's too long, it's a waste of space and time, and it's too silly. It was too manic when I created it. This is Hope Nation. I want to share with you my stories from around the world that have affected me living with the diagnosis of bipolar disorder, or what I effectively call brain pain. If you want to come to this channel, you want to learn about bipolar disorder, mental, brain, mind, behavioral health, well-being, what I call the art of wellness. The playlist is on the playlist section. Get at it soon. But I want to share with you my personal stories and give you something, little nuggets of hope here in Hope Nation, but also I want to help this channel be solution-based. I want you to come here to find out all the answers you need to know based on my lived expertise and experience, not a clinician, disclaimer. We're gonna have some great folks on here later on that are going to be some of the best advocates and experts in the field with lived experience and also with clinical experience. They're all gonna be on the show and the vlog, let's be clear. The question, any progress with the Golden Gate Bridge? So there are some people out there who are watching right now who know what happened, who knows what's been transpiring for the last 12 years. Let me break it down to you who don't know. The Golden Gate Bridge was erected in 1937. By 1939, the first suicide occurred. A man named Harold Wobbler, a World War II veteran, left his World War II boots on the bridge walkway and a note that said, "This is as far as I go." Now, to be clear, the designer of the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, what they call the ninth wonder of the world, the most beautiful man-made structure ever created. Who invented that saying? I think that must have been a San Franciscan. Nonetheless, it's an icon, a structural icon. Nobody has built a bridge like it since. There have been suspension bridges like the Golden Gate, but it was one of the first of its kind, and it was and is, to some people, very magical. To others, it's a harbinger of death. To others, it's the place that, they'll tell you, the bridge director will tell you that 1,800 people have died there. The bridge former Marine coroner will tell you it's more like 2,000 or higher. Some of the Coast Guard who pick up the bodies and some people in suicide prevention would tell you it's more like 3,000 or higher. But for all the bodies washed away to sea, never to be found, all the bodies eaten by fish to the bone that disappear forever, all the people that bury caskets with nobody in them after people die off that bridge, a spot that is 99% fatal. For all of those people, and for the people that have lost loved ones they've never found, I personally believe, and so does my wife, that in the last 82 years, if you do the math, which I hate math, but I've done it, we've had a death there every 7 to 10 days for the most part of the last 40 years. If you look at that and you multiply that times 83, it's far greater than 3,000. No one's ever going to know the true number of those who've died off that bridge, but I firmly believe it is the largest point for suicide in the world. And that's unacceptable. So, my father founded the Bridge Rail Foundation after the great Eric Steele made his film The Bridge, featuring myself and my dad talking about how we get past the pain one day at a time. And that film traveled all around the world and still does. That 2006 film, and inspired my father Patrick to found the Bridge Rail Foundation with a man named Paul Muller and a man named David Hall. David Hall lost his daughter at the Golden Gate Bridge, and all he wants to do is honor her memory. And Paul Muller has a dog in the fight because he cares. as we all should. For the last 12 years, it has been heck. No, it's been hell, fighting the bridge director and bridge authority to do the right thing. And for the longest time, they didn't want to. They didn't want to because of this. They didn't want to because of that. They didn't want to because of the aesthetics. They didn't want to because of how much it would cost. A woman named Mary Curry made it very, very difficult for us to get the message heard. For a long time, there was 51% for raising the debt in San Francisco and 49% against. That's almost 50-50. There was a city divided, and the advocates, the families, the loved ones were so persistent in the last 10, 12 years. When they wanted us to go away, we didn't. We kept the fight going. We came to every board meeting and every board hearing we could, unified to say the suicides have to stop. Let me tell you a little anecdote about the Golden Gate Bridge and the tellers that used to work there that no longer do. It's all automated. When someone under Mary Curry's watch, the former communications director of the Golden Gate Bridge, yeah, I'm calling her out. When someone would run up to the tellers and say, "Oh my God, someone has just jumped off the bridge," they instructed their tellers to look at those people with a smile on their face, just like this, and say, "Oh honey, it happens all the time." That, my friends, is the worst kind of apathy anyone can ever give somebody else. The kind where it's fronted by kindness. And I want to give a shout out to everyone at the new bridge directorate. Dennis Mulligan, you are first. The former engineer, now the GM. Dennis Mulligan, Mr. Mulligan, you were an engineer. You saw our vision as we did. You saw that we needed to make a change. You knew it had to happen for the safety, the public safety of the humans in San Francisco and everybody who comes here to die all around the world. You saw that people matter, Dennis Mulligan. You saw that people were important. So did you, Tom Amiano, Assemblyman Tom Amiano. So did you, Mark Leno. So did you, Darrell Steinberg. So did you, Janet Riley. You guys fought with us. And eventually so did Mr. Moylan, Johnny Moylan, thank you. You knew my uncle, Kevin Joseph Ryan. You guys were in the Teamsters together. I'm grateful, as gratitude, as I always say, is one of the biggest protective factors against suicide. I'm grateful for all of the flipping that happened with the bridge director. I'm really grateful for a young lady named Priya Clemens. Priya Clemens, the new communications director, looked at this from a more pragmatic, empathetic, kind, compassionate way, and all of you came together after we fought for so long. We now have reached a place where adversaries have become not just collaborators, but friends. And now, today, the Golden Gate Bridge District, as it is fighting with us. And here's the deal, guys. The first approval happened on June 27th, 2014. It took all the way to 2018 to get us to come together for a huge event and push the approval forward and say the net is going up. Guess what, folks who thought it wasn't going to be aesthetically pleasing? It's 91% invisible. You can't see it from the naked eye from far away. It will not obstruct your beautiful Golden Gate Bridge, which is what the friends of the bridge were so worried about. Friends of the Bridge sued the Golden Gate Bridge and tried to sue us, the Bridge Rail Foundation, to get us away from the fight to raise the net of rail. Hey, Friends of the Bridge, I hope you let it go. Let it go, leave it alone. You were wrong. People just don't go somewhere else. Jumpers are a phenomenon. They actually jump again, for the most part. So to everyone who's asking what is going on right now, let me break it down. The Golden Gate Bridge, the most iconic bridge in the entire universe, even on the 9 realms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, the Golden Gate Bridge. It will go from the harbinger of death it was to the greatest and largest beacon for suicide prevention this world has ever known. The most iconic bridge you've ever seen in pictures, the most iconic, beautiful bridge you've ever walked on. You know it's only red because the paint they use and the chemicals in it ward off rust? The Golden Gate Bridge. That bridge will become the largest and greatest beacon for suicide prevention all over the world. And right now, the Bridge Rail Foundation is expanding and growing, or trying to help raise nets, railings on bridges, tall buildings, and structures all over the world. Through their efforts, they have spawned a reaction in a good way. They have created a ripple effect. in a way that bridges and tall buildings and structures around the world are all being looked at now for railings and nets to stop people who cannot stop themselves. Because we're recognizing in 2019 and 20 that the lives of the suicidal matter, that they are being illogical and irrational, and that if we just show them compassion, love, empathy, and care, and give them time to consider what they would have missed, we can change their lives. We can heck be a part of saving it. I jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge in the year 2000. I really wish the net was in place then. 2021 is the year. It's gonna happen. And as of that year, I think in January, not one more beautiful soul will ever again be lost to the Golden Gate Bridge. And that, my friends, is a damn beautiful thing. As of 2021, we will not only save lives at the Golden Gate Bridge, but the suicides most likely will drop in the metropolitan counties around that area, and people's lives will be affected forever in a positive way with their family member, their daughter, their wife, their fiance, their husband, their brother, their sister, their aunt, their uncle, their cousin, their friend. They'll be here tomorrow and every day after that. It's a very important message to be given. Thank you for that question. Any progress with the Golden Gate Bridge? I appreciate it. I broke it down. You understand now that we fought until we made it happen. That just goes to show you that a small group of people can get together to create big change if they are persistent, if they work hard enough. And persistence, as we know, is the key with love, mental health, psych wards, and railings and nets. All right, let's move on to the next question. Kind of a similar in mind question. The question I got here from Instagram after that one was, do you ever rewatch the Bridge documentary? We briefly spoke about it in the last few minutes with the Golden Gate Bridge issue. The Bridge documentary, for those of you who don't know, was filmed in 2004 by the great Eric Steele. It was put out in 2006. Myself and my father are a part of the film. So are a lot of people, and it chronicles the lives and the stories of the 24 individuals who died that year off the Golden Gate Bridge. And let me be clear, it is not an easy film to watch. It's a very hard film to watch. Why? Because it shows the 24 people that year dying off the bridge. Controversy. No, people thought it was voyeuristic. People thought before they saw it that it was a scourge of a film before they ever understood what Eric Steele was doing. He never tells you what to think in this film. It is an unbiased documentary, which is my favorite kind. He never tells you what to think or how to think it. He just asks you to think. And that documentary was the biggest impetus to my father founding the Bridge Rail Foundation past his son attempting and almost dying there. That documentary led to the movement by the Bridge Rail Foundation, which my father founded with Paul Muller and Dave Hall. That documentary gave me a platform, and many others, to speak openly and honestly about our pain revolving around the GGB. And it gave us a dog in the fight, a voice in the field of noise that is this manic America, and it allowed us to speak our loudest in our most poignant ways to reach the most people at that time. Yes, I rewatched the Bridge documentary, but I got a story to tell you. So when I was traveling for the film with my father, initially when it came out in 2006, the first time it came out was in the Tribeca Film Festival, which I hope to get into someday with my next film. Maybe the net gets in. We'll see. I'll tell you about that later. We were at the Tribeca Film Festival, sitting there with the likes of Jerry Seinfeld, Ralph Lauren. If you don't know who that is, Google him. One of the greatest fashion designers this world has ever known. You millennials might not know him. I'm not saying anything bad about millennials. I love you guys. Actually, millennials, you're some of the hardest workers in every room, according to stats that have come out last year. A lot of you are really working hard at your true entrepreneurial spirits and getting some great stuff done in technology and many other fields. Nonetheless, the Bridge documentary, if you've never heard of it, I recommend watching it with a friend. It is heavy. You want to watch it maybe with your therapist or something if you go to therapy and you're honest about it. I had to watch it 30 times at the very least, in front of panels where the film would be shown. And let me be clear, I didn't watch it all 30 times. After the 10th time of watching myself on screen and everybody else in the movie, and the traumatic stories that it includes, big hello to Gene Sprague's family who lost Gene. He was the crux of the film. In all of the 92 minutes, he's almost featured all throughout the film as someone walking back and forth across the bridge. And not to bring up old news, but it's a very tragic ending in that film of his life. Spoiler alert at the end of that film. But let's be clear, I do watch it. It's a beautiful, powerful piece of cinema. And I don't watch it because I'm in it. I watch it because it's something that's so moving and moved me to action, to do good work in this field to the best of my ability with my father. Some of that work was with my wife. A lot of that work was with our team. And in general, the mental health, brain health, and wellness fields and suicide prevention fields, who we got to really be a part of in the last 10 years, certainly the last years after the film The Bridge came out. I don't rewatch the whole thing today. It is too heavy for me because even though I know what I'm gonna see, I lived it. I jumped off that bridge. I don't really need to keep looking at people who did. It's triggering for me. It puts me in a bad place. And no offense to Eric Steele or his film, but some people who are mentally unstable, in my opinion, shouldn't watch the film. Would you agree, Laz? Yeah, some people should not watch this film if they are susceptible to triggering on suicide topics or on someone attempting. Let me be very clear about that. You should not watch The Bridge if you are affected by being triggered by media that portrays suicide in a potentially scary light. The film, though, as a whole, is an important piece of media that changed the course of the people who fought for this right to keep other people alive's path. So I would say, if you want to watch it with someone you love, watch it with someone you can give a hug to at the end and cry with. But know that movie created a hyper tidal wave and a ripple effect that I think I could easily say changed the world, or certain pieces of it. We at Kevin and Margaret Hines Foundation and Eric Steele in general still today get letters from people thanking us for that film. The Bridge served its purpose. It helped a lot of people heal. Once again, if you are triggered easily, don't watch it, or watch it with a friend or a therapist. And here's the thing. I watch what I can. I can't watch the whole thing, as I mentioned. But once again, it's a beautiful film that had a ripple effect and still is shown around the world today, which is wild. It's had a how many years is that, Tyshawn? 2006 till now. 13. It's had a 13-year shelf life, which is amazing for a documentary. Still being shown as an educational license film in many places, bought out by a Korean distribution company and shown around the world. So, guys, that's it. That's the vlog. We're here talking about your questions that matter and my answers that I hope give you insight into these storylines. And I want to show you something before we wrap this up. Where is it? This says, be here tomorrow. I don't know if you can see that. So this says, be here tomorrow. As in, my friends, you've heard me say it before. If you're joining the channel for the first time, be here tomorrow, and every darn day after that. You are beautiful. You are intended to be here until your natural end. You are beautiful just as you are. You are perfect just as you are. You're supposed to be here. You exist for a reason, and it's not to die by your hands. Suicide is never the solution to our problems. It is the problem. If you're suicidal, text CNQR to 741-741, the crisis text line. C stands for courage to talk about your mental health. Normalize the conversation. Ask the question to someone in pain, are you suicidal, and do you have a plan? Don't wait for them to reach out. You must reach in, and R is for recovery. Living proof, guys. And lastly, go to kevinhinesstory.com/shop, kevinhinesstory.com/shop to get your healthiest merch in the game today. Here's that red sea lion. That's Herbert. He saved my life in the water when I attempted off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he's a message and a mascot for hope. And we want you to fight the pain, in spite of the pain, to always survive. Let your pain build you, not defeat you. We'll see you next time on the vlog every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we're catching those weekend minutes on the vlog because we want to raise this profile and get it to the right people who are in pain so we can keep them here. All right, guys, that's it. Be well. Be here tomorrow. I'll see you soon. Next Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. Maybe some special vlogs here and there on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Who knows what we're going to do? We're going to do stuff special for you. Keep asking these questions. I love them. They're amazing. I can't wait to get my next line of questions. I'm excited. Bye, guys.